quite a chilly day today, and so I've decided it might be a good medicinal thing to warm myself with some whiskey porridge. I first tried whiskey porridge when I was staying at Inverlochie Castle in Fort William, and I've been meaning to try it at home since then. Today is the day. The porridge, and then the milk. I'm only using semi-skimmed milk, but I'm going to make up for that later. A little salt. Now, at this point, I would usually add double cream, but in France, that's really impossible to get hold of. So instead, I use mascarpone. A big dollop of that will be perfect to start the day. Just going to melt that in there. This is perhaps not the healthy start to the day that porridge usually represents. And of course, you mustn't forget the whiskey. That's the main ingredient. It's one way of loosening up your porridge. There's no sugar in here, which does make it a bit hardcore with the whiskey and the salt, but we're about to change all that with the fun bit. So some brown sugar on top, just even it out a bit. And now the fun bit, I'm just going to use a blowtorch to caramelize it and make it into a whiskey porridge brulee. Now that is the perfect way to start a crisp, cold day. I'm in the dining room finishing off a knitting project that I've been working on, and a lot of you asked me what it was that I was knitting when I was in Finland. So we're going to go back in time and I'll show you. It was part of a project that I had with Michael that didn't quite work out. You'll see why.
I'm just reading the Downton Abbey cookbook.
Oh, love it. So good.
I mean, the upstairs menus are quite posh, but there's something nice about the downstairs dinners.
Of course, we'd like the downstairs dinners too.
They've got toad in the hole, beef stew with dumplings, steak and kidney pudding.
Oh, I want all of that.
Cauliflower cheese, steamed treacle pudding.
This is making me want to do all sorts of traditional things.
I'm a bit cold here actually, I've got hot water. So could do with a nice scarf or a shawl or something. Why don't you knit me a jumper with that nice yarn you bought?
I haven't got enough. But shall we get that out? Where did we put it?
We've got nothing else to do.
It was with the Christmas decorations.
The yellow and the blue stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know how to knit. Do you know how to knit?
I do know how to knit. Shall we have a look?
Go on, let's go and get it.
I found it and it was not easy. It was under all the plastic garlands. But look at this. I would actually like to try to knit you something with this.
What is this? Stuck to your jumper?
Yes, I was saving that for later.
Okay.
That's a little bit of grass.
Oh, lovely.
That's for later. Your bedroom at Bamanier is this sort of blue, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So why don't I knit you something in this?
Yeah, but that means I have to knit you something and I haven't got a clue.
Yellow's my favourite colour.
Okay.
Come on, you can do it. I'm amazed that you've never knitted anything before. I'm going to Finland and then we should meet up afterwards and give each other our gifts.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
I mean, I'll be in Finland and Estonia, but I will still try. I found my knitting needles. Okay. And okay, that doesn't sound very exciting. I realise that, but I'm going to show you why it is exciting.
Why is it exciting?
This is why I started knitting in the first place, and I knit extremely rarely. It's all because of this.
And what is that?
My father made it for my mother.
No.
Yes, to hold her knitting needles in. Look.
You made it?
He made it. So that she could have all the right sizes of her needles. I think I'm going to use very large wooden needles to knit whatever it is that I'm knitting for you. I haven't decided yet. I only spent one winter knitting and I got into a bit of a mania because I had this really nasty flu.
Okay.
And I made this for my grandmother 2 years ago, and sadly she's since died, which is why I have it. I haven't worn it actually. Made that for her.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that was really fun to make.
How do you do that?
Do you know what?
Looks like lace.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make something that looked as much like lace as possible. But the strange thing is I'd be incapable of telling you how to do it because when I'm knitting, I'm fine. I learn and I follow the pattern and I love it.
Yeah.
But if I stop for 1 month, I can't remember how to do it again. I have no idea how to even cast this wool onto here. Time to go to Finland, and I've packed the two most important things. The balls of wool to knit Michael his gift I still don't quite know what I'm going to use them for. No, I'm literally walking out of the house and look what I've spotted. Michael forgot his wool. Looks as though I won't be getting a knitted gift after all. At least it slightly takes the pressure off how good mine has to be. I'm much more likely to win now. I've arrived in Estonia where they have lots of the lovely lace-like knitting that I made for my grandmother, but that's not going to work with my huge yarn. What am I going to knit for Michael? It's going to be the theme of this holiday, I think. I can't think that anywhere snugger to knit than wrapped up in the warm in a cabin on a cold lake in Finland. And look, I've got started. I'm doing a cushion cover for Michael. I think it's going pretty well. I hope he likes it. But I'm a bit worried because I'm getting quite near the end of the first ball of wool. I only have one other one, and this has got to be big enough for a cushion. So fingers crossed it'll be okay. I'd forgotten just how much fun it can be to sit and knit. I'm swathed in my cashmere clothes with my trousers from the Pringles sample sale, and I'm drinking the Kuzmits Varevna Christmas tea. It's idyllic. I can't remember the last time I felt this relaxed. I think I could spend months just sitting here knitting. I do, however, have a problem, which is that I very clearly only have enough wool to do one side of a cushion. So now that I'm back in Lalande, I can finish my project. I did only have enough yarn to make one side of a cushion, but I found a really nice fabric that I think will match pretty well, and it'll be perfect for his Wedgwood blue bedroom. So I think one side of the cushion will be this, the other side will be this, and here is my cushion. I just need to put it together. I'm going to cut this piece of fabric to the same width as the cushion, but a little bit longer so that I can create a flap to close the cushion with. I used the sewing machine just to quickly sew the sides of the pouch, but I think I'm going to hand stitch this on. It's going to be easier as it's wool. I'm going to do that the right way round rather than as usual stitching inside out so that I can see what I'm doing and how it's looking along the front as I go. Hurrah! That's now attached all the way round. So I just have to hope that the cushion fits inside it. Fingers crossed. Luckily wool is quite stretchy. And there it is, Michael Petherick's Wedgwood blue cushion, which I think will go very well in his blue bedroom at Baminier. And the back is really pretty too. I actually really like the fact that it's different at the front and at the back. The stitching definitely isn't perfect, but the poor thing's been dragged around 3 countries with me. Michael, I hope you like it. It's pretty snuggly and soft, but I have to admit, I think I got the better bargain when you forgot the wool and didn't knit me anything, because the drawing that you're making for me is 100 times more gorgeous than any cushion could ever be. Michael Petherick is making me a version of The Lady and the Unicorn with me as the lady. I can't wait to see it finished. Okay, today just gets better and better by the second.
Mon Dieu.
Yeah, I'm going to take this for the team. Oh my god, look at that.
Yes, I'm getting strong, locked in my grandfather's library, wood panel library. Hang on. Eating chocolates, dark Lindor chocolates. He had been smoking a cigar when he was last in here half an hour ago. And he's left some Lapsang Souchong on the top.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, I think I'll try it now. Cheers. My plan for January is to have a wonderfully detoxing month without ever actually doing anything boring like detoxing. So instead, a sort of spa-like month. I have the L'Oreal Dream Length Special Mask on my hair now. I've never tried it before, but it's quite fun. It's self-heating, this weird shower cap, and I'm going to put my shower cap on over the top so that I can lean back on my bed and read whilst it's working. And I also got a face mask inside my Liberty Advent calendar, so I'm going to pop that on too. I hesitate to show you what I look like, but it turns out that the mask is multi-purpose. Excellent for cleansing skin, but equally good to be in disguise as an ancient Egyptian mummy. I'm super excited because it's Epiphany in France, which is the Feast of the Three Kings, and we always have a very special cake with a little charm hidden inside, and whoever wins the charm is the king or queen for the day. And I've been invited to go and celebrate with Dana and Arnaud at their B&B, La Maison du Facteur in Saint-Sever, and Dana's going to cook one of her elaborate couscouses first. There's only 3 of us.
Nevertheless, we have the best. There is a tomato salad with argan oil, hummus with olive oil and za'atar, and here it's green and red pepper. Special couscous meatballs with
that's my
ras el
favourite.
hanout. Yeah, ras el hanout, Arnaud as well.
We're fighting over them.
Oh, there are many. I made many. And this is the couscous itself with my mother's grains that she made with her
No,
hands.
I can't believe it.
You're gonna see the difference. With chicken, some meat, and all the vegetables that goes in the couscous.
And here I have my
The
soup. Oh, it's so
Yes.
pretty.
Happy New Year!
Thank you. Happy New Year.
La galette des rois, it's frangipane and
Puff pastry.
almonds and lots of butter. So the tradition says that the youngest child in the house, Stephanie, which
No,
is
that's you, isn't it?
Oh my God! It's you! The youngest one must go under the table,
Bye bye, Arnaud.
and the oldest person, which is me, will cut the pieces, and the youngest one under the table will say which piece goes to whom.
Hey, go, Arnaud.
Underneath.
pas sous la table.
You have to go under the table. You're the youngest one.
Allez, hop.
I'm really killing the cake.
All right, Arnaud, who's the first piece
This
for?
one for Dana.
First one for Dana. Who is the second piece for?
Second one for Stephanie.
And who is the third piece for?
For me.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck, everyone. Though I want to win. It was the same color as the pastry, so I didn't see it.
Oh my God! Oh, it's a cutie! Oh, I love
The
it!
little gingerbread woman.
Yes!
So happy.
You're the queen!
My
Oh my
favourite
God!
festival.
Oh, it looks good on you. Happy Epiphany.
Tandoori Chicken Day.
Yeah.
Do you know how to make tandoori chicken?
I know.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
I think it was Mama call.
So yeah, this is ready.
Let's have a look at that. Wow,
The boat of tandoori chicken. Yeah.
that's quite stunning.
Another night, and we're out in the bread oven again.
Yeah. It's a very good oven, so it's not gonna mess up by itself. So it's okay.
Oh
I think we're
gosh,
doing
I'm
pretty good so far.
excited.
So
Tandoori chicken night.
our challenge is that a tandoori oven has a fire at the bottom,
Yes.
and you put the meat in above on skewers.
Okay.
And it's quite good if the meat actually touches the flame.
The flame.
Because it kind of burns a little bit. So we've got to find some way of recreating that in a sideways oven. So
Okay.
we've basically taken a tandoori oven and we've flipped it on its side.
Brilliant. All of India will be copying us anytime soon.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. But given we have got fire bricks and everything, I don't think we
Yes.
should have any issues because it would anyways cook up from all sides.
Lalande tandoori chicken.
Oh yeah, Lalande version of tandoori chicken. That sounds nice.
It does, right? Sounds really good.
Push it real good.
So it has got to be very hot in there. So it's starting to burn now.
And that's what you wanted.
Yeah. Although it's not directly on the flame, but it's still burning, so I think it's good.
Oh, it looks good inside. Prashant, that is the best tandoori chicken I've had. That's amazing.
I think if you burn it better, it might get the.
I can't imagine it better. It's so good.
Well, thank you. It's amazing you are enjoying it already.
I'm loving it.
Damn nice. The spices are incredible.
Incredible.
So I'm worried that if we cook it too much, we might lose some of the subtle flavours of the spices. Because the lemon and everything is just beautiful.
Whilst Michael and Prashant are in charge of the tandoori chicken, Osman and I are in charge of chapati station. We've already sent the naan bread out to the men, and they're going to make it in the bread oven, but the chapatis we're doing in here.
What's the secret of your rolling?
Ah, the secret of my rolling, it's quite a secret. What I do is I put the rolling pin on the chapati, and then I roll.
Wow.
I know, right? Right?
Impressive.
Don't tell anyone else the secret.
No. It will stay in Lalande.
So, what is your chapati secret?
I put them in.
Yeah.
And before they burned out, I put them out.
Oh my goodness, you see, you are also a frying master.
Yeah.
A frying master and a rolling master in charge of the chapatis.
And sometimes when I feel like, I just flip them.
Oh! Oh.
That's the touch.
I think they're getting better and better.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the ones with the big bubbles in. Look at that bubble.
Yeah.
Made a really good bubble.
Everyone likes big bubbles.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Touching
oh.
them is so nice.
Just turn around now, because you're not welcome anymore. Except for you, Osman, you are welcome because you're doing a great job with the chapatis. But they're definitely made by the man in the best outfit ever.
We need to put something on it, like a jam.
Jam. You're going to put jam on your chapati.
Well, that's the tradition.
I might go for a bit of tandoori chicken, but I'm not the vegan.
Yeah, so jam.
Have you seen your face? You're covered in soot. Look at the tandoori chicken.
Look at this bubble.
It's the perfect chapati. You've done it.
Look at this.
Oh, may I prod your chapati? It's perfect. We should probably taste that one.
Oh yeah.
That should be ours.
Yeah. So. You see it?
Thank you. That's so good.
Yeah.
The chefs are looking good.
Very Indian.
Oh yes.
No, I'm just trying to gap. You know, it's almost Western Indian. I don't know.
This is beautiful, Prashant.
Amazing.
Woohoo! Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I would recommend the ones that are a little bit burned.
And there's the naan bread from the bread oven.
Cheese naan.
I can't believe you're doing it.
This is vegan, and this is vegan. So why not?
What a delicious meal you're having.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me if it works.
I've got a pretty good friend from Pinot. He lives in Hilversum.
It tastes vegan.
That was what I was worried about.
Tastes nice.
And to top off a truly lovely day, our hedgehog seems to be getting fatter by the minute.